Fantastic to be back, finally. And what better way to come back than when the whole new setup, trade deadline was today. And boy, oh boy, was there some fucking bangers today. To say that I was shocked is an understatement. Because as I'm riding around today and driving, and all of a sudden I'm like, bang, trade, bang, trade, bang, trade. And I'm like, hold up, time out, hold up. Wait a minute. Shit was bananas. Which is why I'm glad to be back, because it is so exciting. I hope you guys like the new setup. Bam, I've got all kinds of setup over here. I found old memorabilia I was so excited about. Got little baby Blue Jays helmets. Yes, I'm a Blue Jays fan, have been for a long time. Those little baby helmets help prove that fact to people. My Vince Carter, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan. I got Aaron Rodgers up at the top. I got, QB1, Jordan Love. Antonio Freeman is something my cousin made me back when he was younger. Also a Packers fan. The old trucks from when I was a kid, I've got up here. What do you got up here? What's this right here? That's a Ray Nitschke signed ball. I got Flutie Flakes. I got Brett Favre. I got DeMarcus Cousins. I got all kinds of stuff going on up here. I got a little Randall Cunningham, Keith Jackson. I've got stuff everywhere. I've got it everywhere. And I've still got my hats on display. So I'm a Nets fan. Yes, I am. Packers fan, Blue Jays fan. Have been for a long time. But in all that, I'm so excited about this. So this is super exciting for me. Just moved into a new place, which is why I was, not around last week. Very stressful. Moving sucks. Anyway, it's not about this. Speaking of moving, actually, perfect segue into moving sucks. But does it suck for some people? Because when you're somebody like, I don't know, Sauce Gardner, who starts the day, 1-7, wakes up 7-2. I don't think I'd be very upset if I was him going from the Jets to the Colts. Sauce Gardner traded to Indianapolis, and probably the biggest shocker for me of the day, for A.D. Mitchell, a first this year and a first next year. A first in this coming draft and the first in 2027. I heard a lot of Sauce Gardner hate today, and I disagree with it. They say he wasn't as good as he was the last couple of years. Obviously, he lost his running mate this year in DJ Reed, which is part of the argument that I made for it. The Jets defense as a whole has not been as good, as solid last year and into this year. I will say that Sauce Gardner getting a change of scenery, going to a team that is 7-2, reinvigorated on a very talented defense with a very talented offense, currently run by Daniel Jones, which is still shocking. Probably comeback player of the year. I don't know if comeback player of the year is even available for him, but it would make sense. But let's just say that Sauce Gardner going to the Colts, in my opinion, in my personal opinion on this day, will launch them into contender status and potentially top 3 favorites in the AFC. I mean, I don't know how they don't win the division at this point. They are, to me, a lock for the playoffs if they can continue to play the way they were, aside of this last week's game against the Steelers where they got destroyed. Now, one shocking trade by the Jets led to another shocking trade by the Jets, where Quinnen Williams got traded to Dallas for a second, a 27 first, and Mozzie Smith. So they are beefing up on the interior, on the defensive line. Quinnen Williams is one of those guys that, even as a defensive tackle, can get to the quarterback, and putting him next to Kenny Clark will help. But they also have, I was reading that they have $20 million, I believe it was $20 million per guy tied up in 4 defensive tackles. Logic doesn't logic very well for me. So I don't know. Take that for what you will. But Quinnen Williams, an extremely talented player, can probably play on the defensive end area, not necessarily on the edge, but he can also play on the outsides next to Kenny Clark. And he's a force to be reckoned with when it comes to getting after the quarterback as well. So I think that actually was a really good pickup. So those two pickups, in my opinion, are both very, very solid pickups. The returns, I think, are decent. I feel like that. I mean, I don't know. Everybody says the Jets fleeced them, but I think Sauce Gardner is still a supreme talent, especially at the age of 25. So we're going to segue right into Dallas also getting Logan Wilson, who wanted to be traded from Cincinnati. They got him for a 7th round pick. Basically didn't give up anything for him. He didn't want to be in Cincinnati. Cincinnati didn't care. They wanted him out. They wanted to start the 2 rookies. Dallas needed another linebacker. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. He goes to Dallas for a 7th rounder. And stay in the division. Philadelphia, super active the last couple of weeks. Obviously, they already got they traded away John Mechie and got the corner. I don't remember his name. I'm not going to lie. But they also traded a 6th-round pick for Jair Alexander and a 7th-round pick from Baltimore and Jalen Phillips. They traded a 3rd for Jalen Phillips from Miami and got an edge rusher and now 2 cornerbacks over the last couple of days. So Jair Alexander could be great. He has been healthy and active for at least 5 games this year. Not good for his playing status going forward, which is kind of interesting. Kind of just begs the question that Green Bay really made the right choice. Listen, Jair is my absolute favorite player. I was so excited that he was going to the Ravens out of the NFC. Now he's going to Philadelphia, where he comes into Green Bay next week. So that'll be interesting. But Jalen Phillips, another high-impact player. If he can stay healthy, actually both super high reward, super high-risk players. If injuries didn't sap them, they both would probably still be on their original teams. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, so Cleveland trades Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. I butchered his name beyond belief as a replacement for Day something. The guy from Chicago. He's going to Chicago for a 6th-round pick. So Cleveland offloads one of their edge rushers and gives Chicago a little bit of a boost. And one of the more shocking ones of the day. You know what? I'm not going to get that one. Jacoby Myers goes to Jacksonville. They find their Travis Hunter replacement for at least the next 4 weeks. And going forward, you've got Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., and now Jacoby Myers when Travis Hunter comes back. They got him for a 4th and a 6th. Really, really decent value for Jacksonville in that. In my opinion, I think Jacoby Myers can make a difference for them. And he can take some of the pressure off of Brian Thomas Jr. to be in his bid as being wide receiver 1. I really like that. Draymond Jones went to Baltimore for a 5th. It's a really good move for them. Draymond Jones, I guess, has fallen out of favor in Tennessee, but still can be a decently impactful player. Could be perfect for Baltimore's defense. They needed some impactful players at this moment, and quite honestly, suffering in the hell pits of Tennessee. I'm sure he's very excited to get the hell out of there. I'm just saying. And the last 2 traded from New Orleans. You got Trevor Penning traded to the Los Angeles Chargers. They got their replacement for one of their tackles. Replacement. They got a 2027 6th-round pick for that. Basically traded nothing for him. So they got the replacement tackle. Now they lost both their tackles over the last couple weeks with Sean Slater and Joe Alt. So this will be a nice little plug-and-play tackle for them if he doesn't suck. And in probably the other biggest shock of the day for me was Rashid Shaheed getting traded to Seattle. Not necessarily shocked that he got traded, shocked where he got traded. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Torrey Horton's come on strong lately. Cooper Kupp, who's been hurt. But Rashid Shaheed in the slot will be a very interesting move for them. Also, the speed element. Dude is stupid fast. And you're adding him to JSN and Torrey Horton, who have been extremely impressive. And Jackson Smith and Jigba is actually a monster. I watched him play on Sunday night, and I was extremely impressed with how actually impressive he was at getting to the ball, getting off the line, getting the ball, and moving with it. I guess I've never really watched him per se. I wanted him in Green Bay when he was drafted. And Green Bay passed him up that year, which was fine. But watching him develop now into where he's at, especially without any really protection as far as other receivers and tight ends that anybody's afraid of, he was dominating the other day. I had him over 110 yards receiving, and his line was set at like 70 or 80. So I took him at plus money, and he smashed that by halftime. Now he only got about 130, so he only went over it by a little bit, about 19 yards, I think is what he went over it. So he ended up doing it by halftime, which is insane. So that I gotta say, JSN is nuts, and you're adding a massive speed element in Rashid Shaheed if he can stay healthy in the slot for Sam Darnold, who's just been lighting it up, throwing it deep. So honestly, really just a phenomenal setup for them. Just didn't see that coming, but I guess if you're going to take a step forward as a contender, what you need to do is put some pressure on people, and that's going to put pressure on the NFC West. So the Rams, let the Rams know that, hey, we're coming, we're not done, and if you think that this is just going to be it, it's going to be it, you're wrong. So they're banging on the door of the NFC West. Now, I have not done a video podcast in a while, of course, so you haven't got to see this glorious face. It's unfortunate for y'all. But what I will say is at least you got to see it now. It's not super exciting, but it is factual. But on that note, I'm going to get out of here for the day. I'm going to come back on, I'm probably going to do my Thursday. I'm going to do my Thursday little TikTok. I'm going to come back. I think I'm going to try to do a video podcast this weekend for the weekend games to keep that, to embrace all the glory that is here. Yeah, it's pretty epic. I got a Keyshawn Johnson bear and a Brett Favre bear. It's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot I had most of this stuff. I found this in moving. It's crazy, but yeah. Let's just take a look. Look at all that. Who's that right there? That's Reggie White. Eagles, Reggie White, Packers. Little characters. Some little Blue Jays helmets. Oh yeah. Yep. And then of course the Flutie Flakes. Gotta appreciate the Flutie Flakes. Brett Favre. The Nitschke ball. Matt Ray Nitschke. Really, really, really awesome guy. Really cool guy. Super unprofessional. Cameraman work right there. That's how I do though. I run it. We coming in hot. On that note, I'm out. I'll see y'all in a couple of days.